Okay, so what we see on our screen here is an equation mat. We can tell by the double line down the middle that these two sides are meant to be equal. So what we are doing with this equation mat is trying to solve for x. Now when we are doing this, it is important that we are able to explain our steps and make sure we are using legal moves. Another thing that we should keep in mind is a way that we can show both on the mat and off the mat what moves we have done for simplifying. So one thing that we use is a left-right explanation chart, and it looks something like this. So the first thing that we do is we start by writing down the original expressions that we see. So on the left side, in the positive region, I see x plus 1 minus 2. And then in the opposite region, I see 2 negative x's and 1 positive 1. So here's how I write that. I write that with a subtracting, or we could say the opposite, of negative 2x plus 1. On the right side, I have 5 in the positive region, and then I have negative x. So I'm going to subtract negative x plus 1, and all of that's going to be in parentheses. So whenever I'm writing anything that's in the opposite region, I always put it in parentheses with a negative sign out front. So those are my original expressions. Now I can start by doing some of my legal moves to simplify the mat. The legal move that I like to do first is flipping the tiles out of my opposite region. So if I take all these tiles and I move them up, and I take those and I move them up, I have to remember that I'm going to change the value of these tiles, because everything that is in that region is actually the opposite of the value that we see. So my x's are going to change to 2 positive x's, and my 1 is going to become a negative 1. So I have, on my mat now, I have nothing in the bottom region. Those are now gone. So on the left side, I have positive 3x, positive 1, and then negative 3. I could put plus negative 3, minus 3. It really does not matter. Now on my right side, I need to change those as well. So that negative x is going to become a positive x, and my positive 1 is going to become a negative 1. And now all of those are gone as well. So in my chart, I'm going to say I have positive x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then plus a negative 1. And the explanation is that I flipped regions. All right. Next up, let's see. I'm going to make 0 pairs next. So I have a positive and a negative pair right there. I have a positive and a negative pair right there. And that's really all that I have. Remember, I have to have positive and negatives in the same region of this exact same type of tile. So a positive 1, a negative 1, positive x, negative x. So left on this side, I have 3x minus 2. And on this side, I have x plus 4. And I'm just going to say I made 0 pairs. All right. My next legal move is removing the same thing from both sides. So I am going to take away an x and an x from that side. And that's really all I can do. So I have 2x minus 2, and I have 4 on this side. And I'm going to say that I removed All right. And then, let's see. The next thing I am trying to do is I'm trying to get x all alone on one side. So now my x's are actually only left on the left side, so I just need to get rid of those two negatives. So the one thing that I can do to get rid of two negative ones would be to add two positive ones. If I add two positive ones to the left side, I have to add two positive ones to the right side so that I'm keeping the relationship between the left side and the right side the same. So now that I've done that, I've actually made two more zero pairs. On this side, I am left with 2x, and on this side, I am left with 6, and I can say add 2 to both sides. Perfect. Now, it's getting a little messy. What I'm going to do over here is take a look at what's left. On this side, on my left side, I have an x and an x. And what I want to do is figure out how many ones go with each x. So I have 2x equals 6, really, and I am just going to start dividing up my ones. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And each of my x's get 3, so I can say I divided into two groups. And I'm left with x equals 3. So there it is. I've solved my equation and I've shown all of my work.